Chag Sameach, everyone. Today's Torah thoughts are dedicated Le'il Nishmas, my father's mother, my grandmother Dvora Babi, whose name was Lifsha Dvora Bas Avraham Eber, and we will ask the following question. The first night of Sukkot, we had Avraham Avinu. He was the Ushpizin, he was the guest. We all know that he had 10 tests. One of his tests was the Akeyda Yitzchak, where God asked him to sacrifice his only son. So what's really strange is, if we want to test his dedication, I'm sure there's other ways of testing his dedication. We know he was willing to give up his life, for example, for the first one, which was being thrown into the Kivshan Eish, into the fiery furnace. By Hashem asking him to sacrifice Yitzchak, it's like Hashem asking him to do one of the 3 worst heinous sins that a person's mechuyev responsible to give up his own life, which are idol worship, murdering, and immorality. Now, back in the day, people would sacrifice their children to the gods, so this would be a part of Avodah Zarah, and of course, mainly murdering. So why would Hashem ask Avraham Avinu to do such a heinous thing? Why would that be a test? So we have a concept in Chazal called Maisa Avos Siman Labanim. The actions of the forefathers are a harbinger of what is to be for the children. In other words, if the forefathers, Moshe Rabbeinu, Avraham Avinu, the greats, do something, then that creates a spiritual entity, like a DNA that gets passed on, bequeathed to further generations. So what happened by Avraham Avinu? Avraham Avinu was almost there. He almost shechted Yitzchak. And then the last possible minute, Hashem pulled him out. So the first test, which was the Kivshan Eish, if Avraham Avinu didn't pass the Kivshan Eish, then none of us, nobody in Klal Yisrael would ever be able to withstand a test like that and be able to give over Moser Nefesh. We know that throughout history, during the Spanish Inquisition, for example, and even during the Holocaust, people were willing to give up their lives for Yiddishkeit. But getting back to the Akeyda for a minute, and that was a spiritual DNA that was passed down. In the sense of the Akeyda, we know that he was almost there and then he pulled out. Many times we see, for example, Yosef, before he was about to be Mizan, he was about to sleep with Potiphar, his wife, and in the last possible minute he pulled out and he said, no, I'm not going to do that Avera, I'm pulling away. He left his clothing there and he ran away. So without Avraham Avinu doing the Kedem, nowhere in history would anybody be able to pull themselves out of the Avera right before they do it. In other words, think of it as a pilot. He's flying an airplane and he loses consciousness. In the last possible moment, he hears the beeping, pull up, and he pulls on the stick and he avoids hitting the ground and he survives. Klal Yisrael will crash and burn otherwise. So he needed to have this spiritual reality created, this genetics, if you will, that Avraham Avinu created through the Akeyda, which was that Yidden in the future will be able to withstand that last minute Avera and be able to pull away from it. Thank you so much and have a Chag Sameach.